Welcome to NEStalgia. And this is the inaugural episode of NEStalgia, a chronological exploration of every NES game released in North America. Today's game, 10-Yard Fight. But first, we should talk about who we are.
No, you can't. You got it. I can't start this.
That is a perfect introduction to Sean. So I'm Mike Esposito. I'm a producer over at Nickelodeon, but I love Nintendo probably since I was about 4 years old when we got a Nintendo 64. So that outdates me and clearly indicates that we are by no means NES experts. Instead, we are people who are really interested in video games in general and wanted to explore the NES in order of release.
I'm Joe, and I'm an aspiring writer, and Mike was pretty dead on with what I am, too. As far as my video game experience, I grew up with my Nintendo, but I'm not an NES expert.
What's up? I'm Sam Smith, no relation to the artist, and I'm a PA at Nickelodeon. I grew up with an N64 for a while before I got anything else, so I got a lot of nostalgia for that. Never played NES before, really before this, so this is going to be a good time.
And I'm Sean. You do not get to know where I work. I started everything with the Super Nintendo. Then I kind of abandoned Nintendo for a while and stuck with PlayStation, Xbox, all that fun stuff, until recently. So I'm looking forward to playing most of these NES games for the first time.
Guys, this is not going to work.
What?
This whole idea of remastering all of our episodes. We've recorded so many episodes. We can't just jump back to the first one.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what I was like back then.
Yeah, this is a different person. I don't talk like this anymore.
Yeah,
what did I mean? Mike was pretty dead on with what I am, too. What am I talking about?
Right. I think about that with all of this. We're looking at a script here, and I just realized, how did anybody listen to the second episode after hearing this?
They're good people.
But we gotta do something, right?
Well, whenever I watch like a movie or something, I love watching the audio commentary of the creators. What if we just do audio commentary over our original episode?
Are you worried that they'll be able to even understand what we're saying as we talk?
No, that's a great idea.
It works for movies.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm in. Let's do it. Welcome to NEStalgia. All right, and guys, this is it. Joining me are Sean and Joe for the audio commentary on the very first episode of NEStalgia.
Hi, I'm Joe. I played Joe.
It was recorded back in February of 2018. And this is the
by Sam Smith.
Of NEStalgia. Right, yeah. Sam does the song, and I think we've mentioned that a few times, but that was not like he already had that song, but didn't know what it was going to be used for.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was bespoke.
Yeah.
Very nostalgia.
Yeah, he was making a bunch of stuff, and clearly, if you want bespoke, that's us on this episode. We have no idea what we're talking about. It's all ad-lib. There was a microphone in the center of a table that we all just kind of gathered around.
Oh, here's the part. I'm about to talk. So this is. I remember when I said this. I was.
He said his
the first
name.
time I
Was
really
your
said
last
much
name.
on there. I did. It's true. Yeah, and I don't really know what I was talking about. I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we were all a little nervous.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
We had only tried to record a podcast once, and to hear Sam talking now, like he's really into the N64.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Sam was on the show every episode when this started. Yeah,
that's true. And before he said the no relation to the artist, I didn't know that he wasn't the artist. I thought
that was Sam Smith. Yeah,
I knew he wasn't Sam Smith, but I didn't know that he wasn't related to Sam Smith. I just assumed that all Sam Smiths are related,
like cousins, like your body is a wonderland sort of stuff.
I did that on Facebook back in like when I was like 15 or 16. I friended every other Mike Esposito and just thought like that would be so funny, and they were all really rude to me.
Our audio producer Chris did the same thing.
To all Michael Espositos?
No, to all Chris's. I won't say his last name. I don't know if he wants it out there.
Do you guys notice how fast we're talking in this episode?
I don't.
You mean in the audio commentary or in the episode?
In the episode we're commentating on, in the very first episode, I feel like maybe it's a bit of jitters or whatever, but I feel like we're rushing through even this information on the NES right now.
Do you think we could maybe time stretch from here, just slow it all down so we could actually comment on what everyone's saying, and maybe comment on what we might have been thinking when we were
So you
saying
want me
it?
to remaster the first episode, like the thing we just tried to do?
Oh, you're right.
Listen,
Yes.
no. You know what? This is stupid. This commentary thing isn't working either. You think anybody's still listening to this thing? We're talking over us talking about things that just don't make sense.
Why don't we just take this commentary, take the file, and we'll do commentary over it? I'm like, okay, this is why we thought this would work.
I think that's a great idea.
I think, you know what it actually is? I just don't think we're interesting as hosts. We sucked as hosts back then. We kind of suck at doing this commentary thing. I think we just need new hosts for NEStalgia. If we just start over with new hosts, and we can direct them and they could say our stuff or whatever. If we get new people, they'll do this right.
I think that's a good idea. I hate me.
Yeah, I like where your energy's at. I like where your head's at. I think this needs a new energy, for a new generation.
All right, let's do that.
Welcome to NEStalgia. And this is the inaugural episode of NEStalgia, a chronological exploration of every NES game released in North America. Today's game, 10-Yard Fight. But first, we should talk about who we are.
Oh, no. You got it. I can't start this.
That's a perfect introduction to Sean. So I'm Mike Esposito. I'm a producer over at Nickelodeon, but I love Nintendo probably since I was about 4 years old when we got a Nintendo 64. So that outdates me and clearly indicates that we are by no means NES experts. Instead, we are people who are really interested in video games in general and wanted to explore the NES in order of release.
I'm Joe, and I'm an aspiring writer, and Mike was pretty dead on with what I am too. As far as my video game experience, I grew up with my Nintendo, but I'm not really an NES expert.
And I'm Sean. You do not get to know where I work. I started everything with the Super Nintendo. Then I kind of abandoned Nintendo for a while and stuck with PlayStation, Xbox, all that fun stuff until recently. So I'm looking forward to playing most of these NES games for the first time.
Let's jump right into our first game. The game that this episode's all about, 10-Yard Fight. I don't think it really needs any introduction. It's a football game that is pretty bare bones, but let's get some initial impressions. Sean?
Well, it's not Madden, but it's definitely football. I enjoyed it from the get-go. To be honest, it was very frustrating. But I'd say my initial impression was positive.
So yeah, my initial impression was also positive, but it's not the kind of game that's generally my type of game. Not a big sports game kind of guy. I'm also a little skewed at the beginning when I start playing a game. I'm also interested in how they made it work with the limitations and how, So it was, I thought it was well done at first.
No. This isn't working because they're still reading our old material. These hosts are amazing and they sound
they're great.
Yeah, they sound way better than us, but it's our old material. It's enough revisiting the old NEStalgia. We need to start over.
Mike, we've recorded 250 something episodes already. I don't know if do we want to do this?
I think it's for the best that we just start over. The show has sucked every single week.
Look, we're not even halfway through anyways, so really it's not going to make much of a difference that we start over.
Right. And by starting over too, we'll have all the knowledge, but the listeners won't know that because we're just going to pretend like we never did the show. We didn't have that many listeners anyway, so by starting over, it's going to be tough to fake it a little bit, but we'll be able to we'll be more knowledgeable.
Think about the monetization option, strategies that we could do now that we've done this before.
Right, we can introduce the Patreon right away.
Oh man, millionaires.
I think it's a good idea. My question to you guys, though, 10-Yard Fight. Can you pretend like you've never played it before? When was the last time you played 10-Yard Fight?
When did we first play 10-Yard Fight?
Yeah. I feel like I can pretty easily pretend I never played 10-Yard Fight. It doesn't hold a special place in my heart.
Okay, so look, we're going to start the episode over, this time not remastering, but remaking 10-Yard Fight, and we're going to have all of our knowledge, but the listeners won't. It's going to be great, okay?
Let's do it.
10-Yard Fight. You're the quarterback in this amazingly real football game. And welcome to NEStalgia, a chronological exploration of every NES game released in North America. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
And we'll be your three hosts through the NES chronological exploration. Don't ask why we chose North American games. We're from North America. That's about all the information I'm willing to give today. What about you guys?
I will give our listeners my social security number if they ask me kindly enough, But yeah, like I'm also North American.
Yes, we're all North American confirmed.
And we don't know anything about the NES, and that's like the most interesting part about this show is that we're not playing these games with all of that nostalgia, if you will. We're playing these with people who have NEStalgia, and that's where we got the name of the show. And we're gonna play these games in order. And believe it or not, the very first game is 10-Yard Fight. So rather than give you the whole history on the NES like some other stupid podcast would, we're going to focus on just the games one at a time. Sean, Joe, 10-Yard Fight. It's our very first NES game. You know absolutely nothing about 8-bit video games, right?
The first I've ever played.
Yeah, like it's the 80s, and we barely even have computers. Like, how did they do this? It's so cool. And, why did they start with football? I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's this especially different just from, not having seen this type of game before from this era. Like, I've never played a game that's this old before, and I am, honestly, I'm cuckoo for gaga over this.
Absolutely. I think they might have gotten, the rules of football a little wrong, though. The first thing you see is, in the kickoff, You start off in this really weird square formation that never forms in football, college or professional, and then you start marching to a drum beat up the field, and I don't know where these drums are coming from. It's not like we're at a Notre Dame game.
Yeah, the drum beat marching thing is a little strange, but Sean, this game has a feature that I don't even think modern Madden games have, and that is that it shows you on the right-hand side of your screen, it shows you where you are at all times across the entire 100-yard football field. And I find that information really useful.
Well, you know why you don't need that in any other game is because you just see where you are in the football field.
Yeah, I was going to say without the little meter on the side, how do you know what you're looking at?
That's actually this is a little tidbit about real football. If you see there's little armbands that kind of look like utility gloves that a quarterback wears. That really is only just to tell them where they are on the field.
And Sean, you're our football guy. You're our expert here. Sean's a big Buffalo Bills fan, if you guys didn't know.
Go Bills.
Now, it's interesting. The characters that you play as, they are in Bills uniforms.
That's true. You do play as the Buffalo Bills. It's a little known fact. They didn't get the licensing agreement, so they can't say it's the Buffalo Bills. But this was 1985 or something, and the Bills were terrible. But they knew in 5 to 8 years that they'd be just going to Super Bowls all the time. So they wanted to get ahead of the curve in terms of popularity.
Yeah. And let's be honest, the Bills' colors are main character colors. Primary
Absolutely.
red and blue.
Superman.
Those are the main characters.
America.
Yeah.
Is there a team with pink and purple jerseys at all?
There's purple, no pink though. These might just be the Vikings on a quiet, peaceful, I just want to go take a nap day.
What's great about this podcast, other than it being so fresh and original, and inspired is that this is just one of the 672 more NES games that we are going to play on this podcast.
I genuinely cannot wait.
Yeah, it's great that we have that large of a library, and I look forward to covering each of them in depth. Sean?
I don't know if we could do this. Like, we had so much progress before, and like it's gonna take us.
What are you talking about?
Guys, just step out for a second.
It's
gonna take us like
I'm
13 years. 13 years. It's gonna be 2036. We're gonna be entering or leaving middle age, or I don't know if we can do this, guys.
Yeah, we can still do this. We just need to start earlier so that we can finish sooner.
What do you mean?
I'm going to go back in time to 1994 and recruit Kid Sean and Kid Joe onto NEStalgia and start the podcast. That way, it can be done in 2006, just in time for the launch of the Wii, and we can have Wii-stalgia.
That's perfect.
At this point, I don't see why not.
I wasn't busy in 1994, so yeah.
Okay, I'm sure I can find you guys at your exact locations, talk to your parents, get entrance inside your house, and pitch you the idea. It shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, I made it, and it's January 30th, 1994. Okay, that's not ideal. Sean's not going to be in a great mood, but he's a kid. Kids get over things quick, so let me oh, this house looks good. Hey, Sean?
Who are you?
That's not important right now, but we're like really good friends in the future.
Like Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas?
Oh, yeah, those legendary, those current Buffalo Bills players. Yeah, I mean, they'll get them next year, right? 5th time's a charm.
I hope so.
Look, I know you're really upset about the whole Bills losing 4 Super Bowls in a row and everything like that, but I've got just the thing that will cheer you up.
Is it candy?
No, not even close. Actually, you should stay away from guessing, and specifically guessing what video games are about based on titles. Anyway, yeah, I know. Not a great joke for right now. You're not in a joking mood, but you know what? The thing that's going to cheer you up: a podcast where we play all the Nintendo Entertainment System games in chronological order.
What's a
We're going to play all video games that were released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, but we're just going to play them in the order they were released. So you, me, and another kid named Joe, we're all going to play, and we're going to host this podcast. It's going to be great.
I don't like Joe Namath.
No, not Joe Namath. Joe...
Who are you?
Listen, kid, there's going to be a lot you don't understand, especially as you get older. Things are always going to be weird, but right now... No. Hold on. Don't you like the idea of playing video games?
I like video games.
That's great. So we're just going to play all of the Nintendo Entertainment System games in chronological order and also record them for a podcast. It's only going to take 13 years, and we'll be done by 2006.
Okay, I like that. What's a Nintendo?
Oh my God. I have traveled to a different universe. One where Donkey Kong never attacked that Brooklyn construction site, and thus Nintendo was never created. I need to go back further. I need to talk to Donkey Kong.
Kid, are you Sean? Is it you, Sean?
Who are you people?
Hey, look, I don't have much time before they realize I'm gone. Look, I'm your friend from the future, and there's a problem with your future. Okay, just listen to me, okay? One day, you're going to be on a podcast about the NES, Okay, and on January 15th, 2021, when you get to episode 154, you have to remember that Zelda 2 is an essential game. I don't know what sort of trauma you went through to give you such a stupid opinion, but it is not an inessential game, it's essential.
No!
And look, listen, kid, your life goes downhill after that vote because of how wrong you are. You have to listen to me. I have to go. Just remember, Sean, Zelda 2, essential game.
Wait, I can't stop here. This is Donkey Kong country. Alright, well, it shouldn't be that hard to find Donkey Kong. I'm sure he's right around. Wow, that's awfully convenient. Hey, Donkey Kong. Great games. Oh, you didn't make the games in this one. Big fan of donkeys. It's not a donkey. Okay, alright. Look. You ever see the movie King Kong? Yeah, King. What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? Big gorilla, just like you, goes to New York City, stomps all over the place, climbs the Empire State. Not ringing a bell. Okay, so I've traveled to a universe where the film King Kong was never made, and thus I can't get Donkey Kong to attack the Brooklyn construction site to form Nintendo. Wow, this time travel stuff is a lot more complicated than they make it out to be. Hey, Donkey Kong, one more question. Are you actually Donkey Kong Jr., or Cranky Kong? That's what I thought.
Joe, where were you?
No, I just had to. I had to step out too. I just had to. Hey, what's the status of Zelda 2 on the Essential Games list? It's on there, right?
Joe? I don't know what you're bringing that up for, but I really don't like talking about Zelda 2 unless it's for the podcast. Something happened, and it just makes me really upset, so please don't.
Wait, what do you mean something happened?
Guys, I'm back.
Hey!
What happened?
It's not gonna work, okay? This whole, time travel or dimension hopping, it's not even clear which one I was doing, to be honest. It's just not working, and, I feel like instead of doing NEStalgia as a show or trying to do it earlier or trying to rework it, we should just do a whole new podcast, something that we've never covered before.
I'm so relieved because I've been really getting sick of this.
Yeah, I've been thinking we gave it the good several 100-hour test run. It's not working. Let's cut our losses.
Right. And so I'm thinking the problem with NEStalgia was that the scope was just too singular. It was video games are already a pretty niche topic. Not too many people play video games. And then on top of that, not that many people play old video games that Nintendo won't even sell them to you anymore.
We can't get the Gen Zs on this like that.
Right. So I'm thinking we really broaden the scope to the most broad thing I could think about.
TikTok.
No. Don't worry. You'll see. Let's do it. And welcome to Alphapedia, a alphabetical exploration of every Wikipedia article in the internet. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
Guys, welcome to the inaugural episode of Alphapedia. Today we will be doing the very first article in alphabetical order of Wikipedia, that famous website. Believe it or not, a bit of a shocker, it's just the letter A by itself.
That's actually kind of surprising to me. I figured there'd be, maybe 0 would be before A. This is just a new way of looking at things.
But I said alphabetical exploration, not alphanumerical.
So we're not covering numbers.
We're not going to cover numbers ever on this show.
Okay.
Because numbers would be things like, 8, 16, 32, 64, we don't talk about that
13,
kind of stuff on this show.
21.
All right. Yeah, fine. What's your favorite thing about the letter A, Mike?
My favorite thing about the letter A is that if you go back far enough, the letter A is actually just kind of like a deer or a bull.
Now is this in? See, because I only have an A in my middle name, so I'm moderately familiar with A, but not like super familiar. So like when I think of it, I'm not sure what you're talking about with deer or bull. I think of like apple or airplane or Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual shape of the letter A, which started, the A that we know it today is really only since like the 300s. You see, the A actually was kind of like a K, going back a little bit, and then as far back as the Egyptian times, what they would use to represent A was like a bull or an ox head.
No, that totally makes sense. I mean, I think when you say the 300s, you mean like maybe the 300s BC, because we get our characters from Roman times. Like I learned this by playing Expeditions Rome mostly, which is a great RPG.
Sean, no. Great thought, though. You are right. 300 BC. Maybe even a little earlier, to be honest, because the Greek alphabet, obviously, the one that is close to what we have today as well, that also has the A, as we understand it today.
Yeah, alpha, yeah, like the show.
Yes. And another thing about the letter A that you might not know is that it's a vowel.
Yeah, see,
love
I was always
vowels.
proud of knowing that knowledge because, like, I'm not around a lot of people that are like super well read. I come from a very like athletic world, so I'm not the athletic one. I'm more the guy who knows about vowels.
Yeah, like your athletic friends might be playing football or Madden.
10-yard fight.
Yeah, 10-yard fight, stuff like that.
Whoa. Not
do you
10
want
yard.
from us,
not
Mike?
no, not 10-yard fight, okay?
No. Yeah, I was always playing like Sesame Street ABC and stuff like that.
Or Alien Isolation. Like games like that. The games like that are cool because like they have these AIs where they kind of sound like they're actually present with you because what's up?
Yeah, just to get back on topic for a second, what do you think about those A's that have like things are on top of them or around them, like those silly A's, that have like
Like an umlaut?
yeah, all those or those degrees symbols and atop of them. Like, what are they doing? They're so silly.
Mike,
Sean,
can we not kid ourselves anymore?
this Wikipedia article is pretty short. So I was planning on moving into the essential alphabet list in like a second, but what's your concern?
Joe, I think you've got an idea.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna say because you mentioned the like degree symbol above, and if there's one after 720 degrees on the NES, the skateboarding game, I don't see why an A couldn't have one, but it seems like I don't know, Sean maybe has some more in-depth thoughts.
Do you guys realize what's happening?
No.
What?
We have played so many NES games for so many years that even when we try to have conversations without video games or without NEStalgia, it still finds its way into our lives.
It's not the alphabet that you learn, it's the games you play along the way.
Wow, that is beautiful. And I think I'm worried that I'm getting nostalgic about NEStalgia.
Maybe we should go back on that decision. Maybe the decision that you forced upon us that we didn't actually have a hand in, maybe we should keep playing NES games and record the podcast as usual.
That's a bold idea for a podcast to just all of a sudden keep going the same way it's been going.
So what are we
With
supposed
no
to do?
warning.
Just release episodes every Friday for Infinity?
Infinity.
Infinity. See, we should actually study these letters though, but on our own time.
Yeah, Mike, please continue to go through this. Get a better handle of etymology. I will be with you in spirit.
Yeah, maybe we do this off. We all three of us, we can get together once a week, discuss the alphabet off the microphone,
An
and then we'll
unplugged
continue
podcast.
doing. Yeah. Maybe live shows, but we can continue doing the recorded stuff as is.
I like what you're saying, Joe. You're right. Maybe all these other crazy experiments that we've been trying are just that, experiments. But in the end, NEStalgia is a show that is a chronological exploration of every NES game only released in North America.
Correct.
That's why I keep saying that every time at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, I never got that before.
Right. That's what it's about. Sean?
Hey, Mike. I also don't know what to say here.
I think we just ended
right, yeah.
with our
Don't worry.
laughing.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening to the episode. As you can tell, NEStalgia is going to continue. So join us for 500 more years of NEStalgia, virtual nostalgia. And actually, we wouldn't do the Virtual Boy, right? That's a handheld.
No, I can't do that, man.
Yeah, so we would
I'm
just
gonna
go
be
to
60.
64 nostalgia.
All right, yeah, we'll do that.
All right, so we'll do that. And wow, you guys have a lot of patience. You're just gonna sit here and listen to the gaps.
Should we put a code word at the end here to be if you really listened all the way to the end, we'll bury it a little bit, the code word, tweet at us or something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. If they really listened to the end of this, then they would know to tweet at us what we said at the 42-minute mark in the Super Mario Brothers 2 episode.
Wow, that's asking a lot. If you did listen to this part, just tweet
Zelda 2 is a
Jambalaya.
special game.
No, stop it, Joe.
Oh wait, yeah, that's another thing. Wait, did that happen? Did that part happen?
No. Yes.
We're on the same page.
It's true. All of it.
Is that a modern Star Wars reference at the end there? Oh my god.